We're going to dissect one of the most potent and contentious ideas surrounding AMC at the moment in today's video: the infinite squeeze. We'll discuss the reasons why short sellers remain stuck, what actually goes on with market makers behind the scenes, and why this potential is beginning to be taken seriously by more investors, not just the AMC ape community. You already know that AMC is not your typical stock if you have been watching it for a long time. Fundamentals, market dynamics, and investor psychology are all colliding at once in this extremely unusual scenario. We're going to make a logical connection between all of these points. Let's begin with a stirring quote from Turnaround Investor. He issued a challenge to locate a business with a market capitalization of less than $600 million, that is not on the verge of bankruptcy and still has a clear route to generating close to $5 billion in revenue. And he came to a straightforward conclusion: there isn't a company like that. However, AMC falls into that category in some way, and a lot of people still consider it like any other stock. The largest misconception is precisely here. The value of AMC is incorrect. Discrepancy is evident when you compare its prospective revenue to its current market capitalization. AMC would be trading at a totally different level if actual price discovery were taking place. And for just this reason, institutions and seasoned investors are already beginning to purchase AMC shares in addition to individual investors. They are aware of the opportunity. Let's now discuss the industry itself. With a 14.2% year-over-year gain, the box office is exhibiting a robust rebound. This reveals something crucial. The theater business is not going extinct. It is expanding once more. Additionally, a company like AMC builds a very solid platform for future success by operating in a rising industry while simultaneously strengthening its own fundamentals. Additionally, AMC is no longer only dependent on the purchase of movie tickets. Popcorn sales, retail distribution, and other business tactics are some of the many revenue sources that the company has moved into. Because it is no longer reliant on a single source of revenue, this diversification lowers risk and improves the business as a whole. Naturally, some people continue to speak poorly of AMC, primarily due to its previous financial losses. However, they frequently overlook the cause of those losses. To survive throughout the pandemic, AMC had to take on debt. The short sellers would have prevailed and the company would have gone bankrupt if they hadn't taken that action. However, AMC persevered, and it is precisely because of that choice that this entire opportunity is still available today. And things are getting better now. Over $2 billion in debt has already been settled by AMC. They are lowering their interest rates by refinancing. With high box office results anticipated in 2026 and 2027, this means that the large interest payments that previously resulted in losses can now progressively turn into profit. AMC is getting closer to becoming significantly cash flow positive as more films are produced and attendance keeps rising. More investors are becoming aware of this. These days, it's not only the ape community. AMC's undervaluation is finally being recognized by institutions. In fact, some investors are beginning to see AMC as a possible safe haven, a stock that might do well, even in erratic economic times. Here's the big question, though. Why doesn't the stock price show that things are getting better? The concept of suppression is relevant in this situation. KevDoggy32 mockingly notes in a tweet that despite obvious buying pressure, Mukt doesn't appear to be able to have a good day. In a typical market, the price of a stock should rise as more people purchase it. However, we frequently observe the opposite with AMC, which is abnormal behavior. This leads us to the idea of the infinity squeeze. An infinity squeeze, as contrast to a typical short squeeze, occurs when short positions grow so large, particularly as a result of synthetic shares, that it is almost impossible for short sellers to unwind their positions. Theoretically, this may result in limitless pressure on prices to rise. Many people think that AMC has a much bigger quantity of synthetic shares than certain other highly shorted stocks. And basic maths is the cause. Compared to more expensive stocks, it is simpler and less expensive to produce more synthetic shares because AMC has historically traded at a lower price. However, this poses a serious issue for short sellers. They will eventually need to buy back more shares as they produce more synthetic shares. Additionally, it becomes impossible to completely fill those positions if that number grows too high. When that occurs, there may be no simple way out, and the price may begin to rise steadily. Travis makes another crucial point when he says that short sellers require someone to sell shares to them in order to liquidate their positions. However, AMC has been purchased and held by individual investors for more than 5 years. This indicates that there are very few shares available for purchase. As a result, shorts are essentially stuck. Indeed, AMC has diluted itself by issuing more shares over time. However, the projected number of synthetic shares in the market is still far higher, even if we assume that billions of shares have been issued. Dilution is therefore insufficient to address the issue for short sellers. Additionally, the market is displaying a number of odd indications. For instance, extraordinarily high levels of off-exchange trading, frequently exceeding 80%, barcoding patterns in the stock price, and a dramatic rise in failures to deliver, or FTDs. In one case, FTDs rose from 1.6 million to 6.7 million when the stock's price moved quickly. These circumstances are not typical. Additionally, several of the ETFs that are being utilized to short AMC are showing up on the regulation show threshold list. This is yet another sign of continued pressure and possible systemic manipulation. Red Flag Robbie makes it very clear. Bankruptcy is the only viable option for short sellers. However, AMC is no longer on the verge of bankruptcy. In actuality, it is getting stronger, which keeps short sellers in their current positions. Let's now examine the industry's good advancements. By 2027, Universal Studios plans to increase the theatrical windows for its movies from a minimum of 5 weeks to 7 weekends. This demonstrates faith in the theater industry. Studios wouldn't be taking these actions if cinemas weren't profitable. Additionally, we are witnessing a return to cinemas from streaming. Even businesses like Netflix are looking at collaborating with theater chains. AMC directly gains from this trend, which also promotes its long-term expansion. Millions of shares are still being borrowed, according to borrowing data, indicating continuous demand. At the same time, AMC is now being characterized as a microcap. Business with a solid cash runway, no insider selling in 3 years, an established CEO, and over $5 billion in revenue potential. The notion that AMC is greatly undervalued is further supported by all of this. Concerns over investor behavior have also been voiced. One theory is that short sellers might be attempting to bide their time in the hopes that some investors will forget about their holdings. Inactive brokerage accounts may occasionally be liquidated under particular circumstances. Investors should be aware of this even though it might not be common. Direct registration, or DRS, is another crucial idea. If several investors registered their shares directly at the same time, it might reveal whether brokers have a sufficient number of legitimate shares. We have witnessed instances in the past, such as MMTLP, where brokers lacked enough shares to cover all client holdings. Amex is another option for comparison. Over the previous year, Amex produced a 58% return. Since AMC owns the most IMAX screens, it makes sense that AMC would have experienced comparable results. The fact that it hasn't raises the possibility that other influences like suppression are at play. GME has substantial cash reserves at the same time, which allows it to plan for future expansion. The story of massively shorted stocks and their potential is strengthened by this. Lastly, the larger financial system must be taken into account. Large financial firms with trillion-dollar derivatives holdings include J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Citibank, and Morgan Stanley. It is believed that J.P. Morgan alone has exposure of almost $63 trillion. If this method becomes unstable, it might have a huge effect and cause sharp fluctuations in heavily shorted stocks like AMC. Thus, you begin to see a very clear picture emerging when you combine everything: improving fundamentals, sector growth, significant short interest, synthetic shares, and systemic financial threats. These days, this is more than simply a typical investment. This is about a scenario where, if all goes according to plan, the result could be much more than most people anticipate. And for that reason, the concept of an infinity squeeze is still gaining traction. That's all we got for you today, guys. What do you think of AMC stock? Participate and share your thoughts in the comments section below. I appreciate you watching.